much.
I'm ready.
To be murdered. Is that what you're ready for, Alex? Because hello and welcome to Chattercave Podcast, where we break down and review a movie while overall just trying to have fun because that's the end game after all. I'm your host, Drinking Thomas Hughes.
I want it that way.
She's singing it again. Where's the singing it again? I told you we shouldn't have watched that episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, because you're going to keep repeating it.
Exactly.
We're not watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We're watching the second Transformers.
Yeah,
second film.
if you couldn't tell, Alex is still here.
Yeah, you're stuck with me for a few
Is here.
minutes. Everybody's here, apart from James.
Because today we're discussing Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, released in 2009, 2 years after the first movie. It's also set 2 years after the first movie in terms of story. And it follows the Autobots having to deal with an old threat.
Yeah, and it's about James's revenge after he fell from grace, and it's quite shameful. And honestly, it's emotional and a quite good story. And also Megan Fox boobs, emotional.
I think half of that film is from this. I don't know what the other half was from. But yeah, this movie was once again directed by Michael Bay, who directed Pearl Harbor and Bad Boys 2. I've never run out of Bad Boys movies.
Wait, Pearl Harbor was directed by...
Explosions, slow motion, point out a female character, very over-sexualized.
Yeah.
Yes.
I knew it was a hoax. The Japanese never did it.
Oh, you meant the actual war?
Yeah.
In my head,
the movie.
In my head, though, Titanic is also done by Michael Bay because of one GIF I found. And now, I would never not see Titanic crashing into the iceberg, and Michael Bay explosions everywhere, and then focusing on Paint by Your French Girl.
Let's just go straight into the shall we? Obviously, it's very much a similar type of film to the first one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot less, obviously, introduction of new human characters since most characters are already established, apart from obviously one. But pretty much every other character that you meet human-wise is already established from the first. So obviously, there's not much story. Obviously, there is story development in terms of obviously Sam, who's now at college, and he's now actually dating Michaela, and webcamming each other, if you know what I mean.
They say they will. They don't.
Yeah, this is the first one I actually got to see in cinema. I think. Yeah, I got to watch this in the big IMAX when it used to be open in Birmingham before they shut it fucking down. So I have a very fond memory of going to watch this and to see massive explosions on a frigging massive screen.
And hearing two robots call someone a pussy.
But yeah, I have a very fond memory of watching this, just like the first one. And I think it's very similar quality to the first one. Explosions, Megan Fox, slow motion.
Yeah.
Robots fighting robots. This time we got an actual Optimus Prime dying, as he usually does at least once in every generation of Transformers. And I did enjoy it. Obviously, the only issue I really have is the fact they built up the villain and never really did much with him. It was like an instant KO when he did actually come down. But other than that, I still put it up there with the first one. I think the whole original trilogy for me is very much the same sort of level. It's anything after that when it just goes down a bit before going back up again. Down. But yeah, I do very much like this movie. I think it's fun.
I think it is definitely like Michael Bay at his most Michael Bay-ish, I will admit, because the amount of explosions, the amount of slow motion, the amount of close-up of Megan Fox's cleavage running is literally magnificent. Like, I don't remember it being this much Michael Bay, but...
Hey, not just Megan Fox cleavage.
Oh, no, of course. Every other person who walks past cleavage, the college is full of definitely not models.
Cleavage and panty shops.
Teenagers.
Exactly, Alex.
Gotta get them panties.
I mean, what I like with this is...
They get the most geekiest looking blokes And then all the girls like supermodels
Yeah,
walking
basically.
around in scantily clad clothes because that's totally how
That's all
college
that's
works.
around.
Yeah, isn't it? That's how college works, right?
That's how it works, right? Yeah.
Yeah, sure, totally. You keep watching those videos on the internet that helps you make you think this.
Damn, step bro, I'm stuck again.
Do you think that's what happened? Michael Bay saw was like, right, I'll send this video on the internet and this is exactly what college is like. All the girls are basically like hot as hell. All the blokes are basically nerds.
Mediocre.
They've all got big peepees, and it's like how it goes. They all have sex. No learning. There's just sex. Michael, have you been on Pornhub again? Yeah, but that's not the point.
But yeah, I think
I wish
the
you
comedy.
watched,
I think the comedy this time round is a lot more of it.
yes.
Especially
Definitely.
like what 3 fucking Transformers that can't say cracking wisecracks, Skids, Mudflap, and obviously Wheelie. And on top of that, you got the mom and dad who are just like the prime of their comedy career, especially the mom with the
And
whole
Mojo.
brownie scene.
And we got 2 more like human comic reliefs as well.
Yeah, because obviously the guy back from the first one, the guy who's no longer working for Section 7, he works for his mom. And obviously the new guy, the curly-haired one who runs his own, computer shop in his bedroom.
And Mojo now has a new boyfriend who he dominates.
Yeah, see, Michael Bay, he was ahead of his time. He had his own LGBT
You have everything within this movie that you could ever require. Even a guy from Warsaw.
Yeah.
The guy from our hometown, loads of a pretty top-notch CGI, some questionable design CGI, and then there's more loads of
more things humping.
Obviously, this one it brings back a lot of characters from the last one in terms of Autobots and Decepticons, but it also adds a lot more newer ones. So obviously, Optimus is back, Ironhide's back, Ratchet, Bumblebee. But now you also have Sideswipe, which is basically your new fucking Jazz, RC twins or triplets, realistically. Jetfire, Jolt, Skids, and Mudflap. Obviously, Decepticons. You have Starscream, Sideways, the Fallen, Scorponok, Same Wave. Obviously, Megatron, Ravage, the Doctor, Wheelie, Demolisher, Devastator, which is consisting of Scavenger, Scrapper, Hightower, Longclaw, Rampage, Overload, and Mixmaster. I will also, since she's now dead, I will also reference something else in this movie that we were both like, what the fuck? The constant use of the same 2 songs, the Linkin Park New Divide song, and also the Green Day song, which I don't know the song, Hayden probably know it. But those 2 songs get getting used constantly throughout in certain moments. You don't mind it occasionally, but I mean, the Green Day one kept appearing constantly whenever Mega Fox on the screen, and in the end credits. And then the New Divide one, every time there's a massive fight, it just kicked in for some weird reason.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
You didn't notice the constant use of the exact same song over and over again.
No,
whenever they're punching.
I just kept hearing you both say it. I was like, oh, okay.
He used it. The Linkin Park song, you literally probably about 3 or 4 times within the normal movie. The Green Day one, I think 2 times maybe. I'm not too sure. And then obviously the end credit full version of the song. But I mean, couldn't he have just used any other multiple? Linkin Park have got a lot of other soundtracks, songs he could have used, and so have Green Day.
even
cheapskate a bit much.
September ends.
Bit of cheapskate, isn't he? Not putting out more money on the other songs. Yeah,
reminds me of Hayden.
Yes, it does.
Cheapskate. Just have to clarify.
But yeah, obviously, as she's already stated, the special effects again, obviously the same caliber as the first one. They still hold up. What is this? 2009, 10, 11, 12 years later.
Wow, you can do math.
Oh, she's not.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah, you missed out. You missed out talking about the Green Day and Linkin Park overuse.
See, I had a thing called food.
What's the Green Day song?
21 Guns.
that one. No, back to special effects. But yeah, again, it still holds up 12 years later. Which
Yeah, it's still
It's
better
good.
than some films that use mainly special effects now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you also think about it. Normally, the sequels are
They get
worse than
worse.
anything else. But honestly, I think
It
it definitely
still
holds up.
stands
I mean,
quite good.
action-wise, it definitely ups up.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
I still think
comedy-wise, it
I
ups
still
it as
think
well.
in terms of action, there's
The
still a
first
few
one, the
weird,
best.
like shots where like
Mm.
his camera angling. Like again, with
But
just
that's
like the first,
Michael Bay.
yeah, just like the first one. A
Yeah.
lot of his shots were too like low down. Like
Yeah.
when Optimus went beast mode on all the Decepticons with his blades, like there was the one shot of it just really low down. I was like, come on, just give it a bit higher. I want to
Yeah.
actually see the whole action. That is obviously
Yeah.
it's like the first one. It's the exact same sort of shots that were used in the first one of really low down and then randomly cutting elsewhere. It was spent most of that whole fight spent a lot of time focusing on Sam, and I was like, hey, we don't give a shit about the human characters. We want to see giant robots beating the crap out of each other.
Robot Wars. Anyway, I thought it was pretty good. Like, it still stands up to like some modern films. Can't really name names because I don't really watch that many modern films, but I know it does.
Big fan.
Of what?
Any other modern film?
I mean, I do agree. It's fit. It holds up pretty well. And
Well, I was going to say I agree. He is a fake fan.
he is probably, Alex is a fake man, but still, he does hold up good. And for a sequel,
It's pretty
It's
damn
not bad,
good.
yeah.
it doesn't go down. It doesn't go downhill. As you said, like the trilogy is when it starts good, and I think it's always hard to do a sequel.
I'm saying
If you want to catch,
there's not many like sequels out there that actually live up to the first movie. The only one I can really think of is probably Deadpool 2.
definitely that. I mean, like Deadpool 2 and Spider-Man 2, and I mean X-Men 2 was pretty good.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight probably overshadows
Yeah.
the original. There are films that the sequel overshadows, or some films where it's got the same like essence of the original. But other films, like for example, the second Turtles film that we watched, where it doesn't hold up to the original.
Yeah.
These are the ones where it does.
Yeah, it's one where it doesn't overshadow. It keeps the same sort of formula and level that eventually gets stale, but it's too early on now for it to get stale.
Yeah, it's like
we're about 2 movies away from it getting stale.
At this point, we're basically on the second series of the original Scooby-Doo. It's like got the same formula, but it's not so overdone now that it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and it's not too much of a long movie.
The old cartoon, cartoons, not the films. I'm not that obsessed.
Are you sure about that?
No, but I do enjoy it. I mean,
We know.
it was a good sequel. So yeah, props up for Michael Bay for that. And if he wants to make the second Dora sequel, I'm up for it.
Of course, she said that. I like this as well. It takes the final act, the action-packed final act, away from like a civilization area. But the fact that if you look at all of even though the rest of the movies, they pretty much focus heavily on the final battle taking place within a city and destroying like a city. Apart from I think Last Night, I think that took place on like that took place elsewhere. But I mean,
is there a film called Last Night?
Yeah, the last one they made before.
I thought you were saying about Last Night as in like the last night when we watched the film.
Don't date it.
But
they're gonna know it was yesterday.
But yeah, obviously it takes it to like this sort of secluded area. Yeah, there are some people, but not many, and it obviously heavily focuses on like this. They can obviously go a bit more destructive, like explosion wise, without like having to CGI in like places. For the fact that that one scene, like those 2 sequences alone, the one when Megatron's like shooting at them, and then the fucking missile barrage from the top, which was just pure Michael Bay. Everyone running, slow motion, explosions, Megan Fox's boobies going boom, boom, boom.
Literally.
Pure Michael Bay,
Boom,
and I
boom,
loved
boom, boom.
it.
I want them
But
in my room.
I think that the lack of people, like civilians, helps it because it makes sure I think that he can go more full range of his action
Yeah,
instead of like holding back so it doesn't make the Transformers look like the bad guys. But without people, they can go fucking full range. And the fact as well, they're still collateral damage because they're still on one of like the great monuments of Earth, the pyramid,
Yeah,
and they're still getting destroyed. So there's these still consequences. This is like a natural, like this like global monument is being destroyed, but there's a there's not much like they can focus more on the stakes being the team, the people that we have developed feeling for, and this like we've watched these characters in the first film, and we want them to survive, and they're the stakes, not the random civilians in the
yeah.
background they've got to save. So I like that.
Sorry, you made me think of a meme. When will you learn? When will you learn? Since have consequences.
I'd say Alex.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's your fault. You shouldn't have said the words.
I'm trying to be an intellectual here, and you're here going, funny meme.
Obviously,
God.
one thing I want to I was talking about as well, because one thing I can point out during, obviously the swaps in terms of designing of some characters, because if you look at a lot of characters there are, they do keep like a general, like some sort of resemblance to their counterpart in like the old school, like original concepts and of animation. Like obviously Optimus, that look, he pretty much is very much the same look. Bumblebee's obviously an updated rendition of his one, and so with a lot of the other ones. But obviously, there's 3 characters in this that have a completely different look. Obviously, RC is, which is
The
then
massive, biggest change.
yeah, for the fact that she's no longer a pink car, she's now 3 motorbikes, which obviously something that gets used later on for the fact that she stays sort of as a motorbike. But rather than like the 3, she just becomes the 1. Which, to be fair, obviously the designing of using the old design it would look a bit weird in this. So you can understand why the design was changed. Obviously, it's completely drastic for the fact it's now a car rather than a bike rather than a car. So obviously they could have kept a sort of car design, but it's very interesting that we got a bike because we never had one in the first one.
And I like the bike though. I like the idea.
Yeah, the holographic CGI on top, bit questionable, but
yeah,
I don't really like that.
Yeah, I don't like the being 3 of them. I don't know because the 3 of them design looks a bit weird, but I like the idea of a motorbike one. Now, because obviously, I watched the 3D animated one.
Prime.
They see that they did, and RC was my favorite character in that one. So, obviously, I don't. I'm not a car person, but I do like motorbikes. So and motorbike transformer is not bad. Because driving games, if I drive a car, I will just kill everyone, and the car, even if I use cheats to make it indestructible, I somehow find a way to break it.
Or you park it in front of the cockpit whenever someone's at, not the cockpit, where they're racing when they're going to fix the car up. You park it in front of that. So when the pit stop, that's the word, not cockpit. I don't know why I said that. You park it in front of the pit stop on the one race that has like a gazillion laps, and you cause the person who's getting the car fixed up from the damage you've already caused them to slam straight into you to get you disqualified on the second lap of the race, and then they have to quit about 3 laps later because you're like, okay, I'm not going to be doing this for friggin' ages now because you just ruined the entire game by getting yourself DQ'd. This is a real story, Alex.
I was getting bored. Okay.
She got DQ'd in F1 for parking in front of the pit lane.
I don't care about Formula 1.
This was over like a 30 lap race. She got DQ'd in lap 2 for parking out in front of me. And making me just play straight into the side of it. And not in a good way.
No, do that afterwards.
Yeah, that was afterwards. But obviously there's the other drastic sort of design changes. Obviously Soundwave, he's now like a fucking massive satellite.
With no legs.
Yeah, with no legs. And he just like jizzes all over other satellites in the sky, apparently. Obviously, that's one that makes sense to get information and whatnot. Obviously, I hate the fact that he's a satellite and he's just used in the sky now and not an actual on the ground transformer. But
Yeah.
it's something that makes sense for the movie, so I won't fully slam it. But I still like the fact that they do still have the sort of little people inside him. He shoots, I think it's Rampage, I believe it is. Ravage. He shoots Ravage, which is the cat, which is obviously he's one of the ones that's inside him anyway. There's obviously the cat one in there. So I like the fact they still kept that aspect to him. But I just don't like the fact he's now a satellite. That's just my annoyance there. And obviously the other big change is obviously the Constructicons, Devastator, who's no longer this giant robot. He's now an actual giant like monster robot instead, which makes sense for the story. I hope that in like maybe one of the late new movies when they come out, that maybe they do bring them back and utilize the actual sort of big ass robot design. Because I know obviously there is an actual transformer, I can't think what it is, who's about their height that can fight them. So that'd be an interesting like massive collision. Like instead of like this small robot fighting these two masses just colliding. That'd be interesting. Again, the design change made sense for obviously the film purposes, for that they had to like suck out the bricks and whatnot of the pyramid. It was something that made sense, and also it made it easier for the normal size Transformers to actually beat him. For the fact that I feel like if it was just the giant one, it'd be very difficult for him to win. For the fact that there's no real weak spots, whereas this one he literally has a weak spot for the fact he's got two big balls underneath, as the guy says. Literally has two balls. Michael Bay, everyone. And but yeah, it is definitely something that makes sense. But again, these are two designs that personally I don't like, but I know mentally they make sense, and I'm not going to fully dig at them.
I agree.
Yeah.
The designs, they can be like quite questionable, but they make sense. They are modern, and it's just we can't we might have done something different, but that's how Michael Bay has done it, and no matter how much we complain, we can't really change.
Exactly. Unless you complain about Sonic and then that happens.
Yeah.
We all know it was a conspiracy, though. We all know the original was made, and they just needed more time to fix it.
Because it makes people want to come and watch the film.
I'm trying to think as well. To say, to be fair, I've said a lot more stuff.
Let's talk about
They did
the character of Sam.
Is the teleportation actually canon?
Oh.
A lot of some Transformers do have abilities.
But teleportation, is that an actual thing?
There is teleportation within the Transformers universe. The space bridge is technically a teleporter.
Yeah, I mean, but he actually teleported.
Well, yeah, because I think the whole point is
they drew the symbols on the floor, didn't they? He helped. Yeah. I think Nose helped with the teleportation. I think that is basically their rendition of a makeshift space bridge.
Because to me, it just came out of nowhere.
And it also led to the moment of Mortis flying through the air.
Yeah, and I was just like, wait, what?
It's probably something unlike those ones could do, because they were special because they were old.
Yeah,
they had to come here.
I'm not sure if Jetfire can do it in the animation. I'm not too sure. But then again, Jetfire is completely different to how he looks. He's not old like the rest of them, I think, in the animation.
It'll be interesting to see more old ones, I think. I'm not sure if there are any more old ones, because this was the last movie I actually saw of Transformers.
There is one in the next one. There's the Dinobots in the fourth one, and then Hot Rod, the one from the animated film.
The one I actually liked.
He makes an appearance in the last film, but he's French for some weird reason.
Oui, mon chéri.
And the Dragon Boy, the Dragon one.
Oh yeah, I think so. There is a few that do appear, but I don't know if they're not really as old. I don't think as Jetfire. The fact that none of them were there with a frigging cane, like an old man, constantly farting on parachutes, save his ass.
That's probably because like he went this long without the
Yeah.
Energizer Bunny things.
That's another thing I wanted to say as well, which I pointed out when watching it. I like the fact that they brought the mum and dad into the final battle. Like the stakes are even higher for Sam, for the fact that his parents were involved in this, and the whole plot changed from the fact that at the start of the movie, the dad was so happy to get him out of the house, getting the golf clubs, they'd ready to make a home theatre. His mum was really sad, crying, baby booties and whatnot. And then at the end, it's the mom who's like, "You need to let him go." For the dad's like, "I'm not going there because you're my son." I like that whole switch. I just like the fact that they're there. That's what makes that whole final battle so much more special.
Yeah, and they go from being comic reliefs to like being a very serious, like dramatic characters. It's amazing. Like, say what you want about Michael Bay and his questionable characters, but at least that he does have some good choices.
Yeah, then they go back to comic relief for the next movie for their brief moments in the next film.
I was gonna say I said yes, but I don't know.
If I remember correctly, they're barely in the next one. They're not in it as much.
Oh, that's a shame. Is Mojo in it more?
The dog's in it. I can't remember if the dogs are in it or not. It's been a while since I watched the
Mojo is the best character.
Can't remember if they are. I know Wheelie stays in it.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Or one more. And then his Brains, I'm pretty certain, is the sort of main little one for the next two.
Yeah. Although, at least they're in it more than Megan Fox.
Too soon? Too soon?
This is the last time we'll see her in Transformers.
Because she ended up jumping to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle universe.
Yeah, because that was totally wasn't Michael Bay saying sorry to her.
Maybe Jetfire teleported there.
Yeah.
Maybe April is just her character in disguise and she just doesn't realise she just lost her memory. Maybe she fell and hit her head when she hit the ground. And then de-aged to a kid and then grew back up again.
My God.
Who knows? Who knows? It's Michael Bay bullshit logic.
That's what we talk about then, eh? Like, pet peeves is Michael Bay logic. So how did you enjoy the Michael Bay logic there, Alex? Watching film.
Well,
when Sam gets hit by Megatron.
Yeah, you just made me remember it. Thank you. Because getting hit by metal kind of sword fingers doesn't slice you and kill you.
Explain this. We've got the
getting something shoved down your throat.
We've got the protagonist immunity. We've explained all this.
I get a dick shoved down my throat, but that doesn't kill me. But getting an octopus robot thing that
again, Alex, we've explained this. Protagonist immunity.
No.
Protagonist immunity protects you.
And then there's bullshit.
It's protagonist immunity. It's not bullshit.
This is bullshit.
Look, we're going to put you in a room, Michael Bay, and you have to fight to the death over this.
Come on, Alex. The amount of fucking animes you watch, you should be used to plot armor.
Exactly.
How many times has Ash Ketchum died in Pokemon? Which we actually talked about on Dragon and Bear. So you should go check it out.
Oh my God.
Also, you should check out the Fatal Hour Studios because Tom's recording some Transformer games for you. So on that channel, it's going to be there. And you get to enjoy the movie reviews and the gameplay.
What's with this whole... What are you doing, Alex? What are you doing?
I don't know. This is why you had me, isn't it? To plug other things.
Not the only thing you're going to plug.
I know. I plug your ass every night.
Uh-oh.
What?
I walked straight to that one, didn't I?
I think this is
What's going on?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something real quick. Oh God. Trying to think of something real quick to say.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox is pretty hot in this film. But she also had a bit of competition as well, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
With the actress I don't know the name of, who turned into Medusa.
That's what I wanted to bring up as well. That whole the sort of human like replicants I like that idea because that's something they were
I
gonna
like
actually.
it, man.
They were gonna do it in something else later on. Like there was at one point when they were considering like crossing over with GI Joe. There's a whole plot idea they're gonna have where the Rock was gonna turn out to be like a human replicant of these because he was in the second GI Joe. And there's a whole like idea where his character eventually turned out to be like one of these or something like that. I remember reading some of this. Obviously, it never happened because the crossover never happened because they basically just sort of rebooted that universe, a bit like but this universe eventually.
It's a bit weird though. I thought it was a bit creepy. I mean, it was good, but it was creepy.
Still wouldn't say no.
I would.
Just saying.
No, I mean, I would say no.
Again, of course you would. Hayden's agreeing with me, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with robotic cons.
All around me are familiar faces.
No singing.
Copyright reasons. Damn it.
Don't worry, my singing's that bad it won't get picked up.
That's what they all say.
I can't think of anything else I want to talk about.
So, what was
Right.
your favorite part of the film?
That was the next bit I was actually gonna go to. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I can't think of anything else to say too. So let's do favourite moments.
Yeah.
I've got. I've got two moments that I liked. The brony scene, of course, because that was hilarious.
That's pure comedy.
But I think for action sense, I'm gonna go with the Optimus death because Optimus just went full beast mode on 3 Decepticons. I might add of his blades, like ripping their faces apart, slice and die. He went full beast mode, kicking the shit out of all these to save Sam's life, and that is just like pure Optimus Prime that you want to see. And for the fact that this is the first time in live action we got to see him die, it was such a worthy death moment for the fact that he went beast mode beforehand. He sacrificed his life to save Sam's. It was a worthy death, which meant nothing because he come back in the end. But spoiler alert: big wings. That's cool.
It's a shame you didn't get to keep them. I do gotta say.
I do quite. I'm trying to think. What's my favorite moment?
My favorite part of the movie was when Wheelie got tortured, and then decided he's gonna be Megan Fox's little bitch boy, and then hump her leg because Master gave Dobby a sock.
Okay. So you liked it when she was very nice to her. Yeah.
I like comedy.
You liked it when she was getting humped by SpongeBob. Okay.
A bit weird.
Also, Mojo.
Hayden, what you got then?
I'd probably say my favorite moment is because behind the scenes of it is when the Asian guy was climbing the pyramid. Because the whole behind the scenes of it was apparently like he told that he couldn't go he went like up to it and he climbed it but couldn't go that far because he got so emotional because of how like the idea of he's literally climbing one of the 7 wonders of the world and that is a one lifetime opportunity and how emotional he got it. And when you told it added more weight to that scene. Because the whole point of that scene is he's obviously he's using that as a target how to get the big guy gone or one of the big Decepticons using it was a railgun, wasn't it?
Yeah, railgun. That one, the destroyer,
experimental one.
Yeah,
and that was pretty cool. So even the way they killed him was pretty cool, but the fact that the whole emotion behind it adds a lot more weight. So yeah, I think that's my favorite moment.
Okay.
It's a mixed bag of pick mix there.
So we've got the comedy pumping leg scene. We've got the action death scene, and we've got the sad climbing pyramids
emotions.
Final arc scene.
The empathy scene.
Yeah, a decent variety, I'd say, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then. It is time for us to rate the movie. So, I think obviously the action is as good as it was in the first one. There's a bit more in this at times. Obviously the comedy's upped, which you, as I say, usually find sequels, action and comedy up. There's a lot of pure Michael Bay moments in there. There's that, as you said when watching it, that whole explosion looks like it's the scene where he's just fucking jacking it on over the screen. Because it's just like explosions and everything, slow motion, Megan Fox running. It was like pure Michael Bay heaven. Obviously, he's got some new characters. Obviously, Skids and Mudflap, great new duo act, which start off as an ice cream truck, which is hilarious because of the fact that they're one. They literally both can make this ice cream truck, and there's like always bickering and whatnot, which is so funny. Obviously, so you got Wheelie now, who's also voiced by SpongeBob, just like Skids. Or is it Mudflap? One of them. So that's quite a funny character. There's a lot, obviously, delving more into like the Cybertronian past on Earth, with the fact the Fallen has been on the planet for a long ass time, and the whole hate he has for Prime, for the fact that the other Primes that also look like the Fallen, I might add, betrayed him, and that's why he's, in the state he is. But yeah, obviously the only issues I really have is obviously the Fallen's been a weak ass bitch when he finally comes to Earth, and the whole music situation we had with the whole Green Day and Linkin Park same song over and over again. That's the only two issues I have. Yeah. Other than those two issues, I think it's a very enjoyable movie. I'll put the book somewhere. I literally have a novel based on a junior novel, because this was like when I was a kid, which has like pictures in it as well.
Oh, picture book.
Obviously, I played the game of this. I played the Decepticon and the Autobot version of this game. That was related to this film. Prefer the Decepticon version. I'm more a Decepticon guy. But other than those, because I have nothing to do with this movie, I still think it's a very enjoyable movie and still lives up to the first one, in my opinion. I don't know why it got as much hate as it did, because obviously this is just like every other sequel that's down the line. This has got a lot of hate, but I don't think it deserves as much hate as it gets. Obviously, as I say, there is questionable moments, but you look past them, sit back, shut that brain down, enjoy Michael Bay Spunkfest, and you're gonna, have a good time. So again, I think I'm gonna give it another 8. I think 8 is the mark I think the original trilogy sticks at before it, drops off.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with 8. It's not better than the previous one, but it's not worse. I think it's pretty much on the same level. So if we gave the previous one 8, first one, then we should give this one 8 as well. I agree.
Sorry,
And yeah, I think as well, like, Megan Fox probably, like, she's at her peak at this.
Yeah,
I think.
she's a lot better in this one than she was in the first one.
Yeah, she's a lot more of a serious character, and there's more weight to her character than just being pretty girl.
Just being someone who's lifting their car bonnet up and having those scandalous shots taken.
Yeah, at least these scandalous shots here are more action-packed ones instead of just like doing it just because.
And service.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was enjoying the Hayden turning into an Autobot, the robotic voice.
Oh, F you.
Go on, Alex.
I thought it was a pretty good film. Is pretty average, like from what I've seen so far. So like it's the same level as the previous film. I'm not saying it's an average film altogether.
You're saying it's kept the same sort of level, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I think this film was a bit better. It could have done with more parents. But because I've like from my previous reviews on this channel, I like comedy. So they could have done with a bit more that, but I think it had a decent amount of things. There was that one bit with the teleportation, which I think could have been explained a bit more. So it would actually make a bit more sense in the continuity of the film. That's a good word for me today. And yeah, I think it's pretty
Alex's
good.
word of the day. Continuity. Continuity.
So yeah, I was gonna give it 7.5, but we can't do 0.5s on this channel. So 8. Because since it's a 0.5, it burns up. Because if it's 5 and above, it goes up. If it's 4 and below, it goes down. Because that's how rounding works.
That sounds like you're attacking someone specifically.
They're not here to argue, so it's a free ball game.
It's a free ball game. Okay, then, Alex, you realise you have to have a word of the day every time you're on here now.
Shit.
Hey, took your own good.
It's fine. I've got Alexa. It can give me a free word.
Okay, so just like last week, that gives Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen a Chatter Cave overall rating of
8.
8 out of 10.
That's a yeah.
Okay, so onto our Chatter Cave MVP award, and as pointed out by Hayden for the fact that he's a standout of this movie. He was good in the first one, but this is like his peak. The Chatter Cave MVP award goes to
Mojo
Simmons, played by John Turturro, who obviously was the agent in the first one, but now he works for his mum, as I said in this one, because obviously there's a lot more comedy moments for him in this, and obviously that whole, as you said, the moment when he actually cried in real life makes him obviously this even better character.
He actually has a heart.
Yeah,
like most celebrities.
He's just a great character, and I think he has a lot of chemistry with I can't remember the guy's name, but the other guy, the one who he dragged out the toilet for the fact he got tased himself in the nuts. I thought those two had a lot of good chemistry. You do find that so far with these movies. There's always two that have really good chemistry with each other. Obviously, usually the robots have good chemistry, or the parents, but in my opinion, it's these two this time around, because obviously they're both sort of opposite. They're both the same type of character, but they're still both opposite ends of the line. Yeah. And I think he's really good.
His agent skills in action. You can see why he became a cool agent. But from the first film, he seemed more like a bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
But this one, he does seem a lot more actually good at his job. Oh, yeah, he definitely deserves it.
Heck yeah, for sure.
We can't get Shia LaBeouf because he's not good in real life. So
yeah.
Yikers.
So we'll move on then quickly to the runner up, or should I say runners up again? Because this week we again have 2 runners up. But this time it's not the parents. Though they were good in this for the fact that they actually went serious at one point.
Oh yeah,
we thought for the comedy reasons these two deserve the runner up bit, because they bounce off each other really well, and that's obviously Skids and Mudflap. I just realised in my notes I forgot to delete the first name of the mom, and it says Skids and Judy Mudflap.
I call them shits and piss flaps.
Obviously, Skids is voiced by Tom Kenny, and Mudflap's voiced by Reno Wilson. Obviously, Tom Kenny being SpongeBob. They just really bounce off each other really well. They have obviously the fighting spirit at times, but they both literally are just like 2 idiot kids. And there's that one scene when they're arguing, and Bumblebee just picks them up and just like yeets them across the friggin' the wall, straight into the wall, and yeets them outside. He's like their dad, basically, or their big brother's like, yeah, get the hell out of here. That is very good. And obviously, there's a whole emotional scene when obviously his Mudflap gets sucked into the Devastator, and Skids is like, oh no, he was so young, he's dead. No, he's like, oh no, he's not dead, he's there. Oh. And I just love the fact that I think it's Skids, he's got a little gold tooth. I don't know why he's got a gold tooth, but I just love the fact he's got this really buck gold tooth.
It's because they're supposed to be rednecks. That's the idea.
Redneck ice cream, man.
The design is ratty face for nuts.
Hayden, you know what award it's next, don't you?
Oh yes, the Michael Bay Award, and as always, it always has to go to a Megan Fox scene, but specifically, it's one of the airstrike scenes, because I say the second one, because it has the most explosions you'll ever see in a Michael Bay film, but they're also in slow motion, and Megan Fox is in that scene slow motion running, and as Tom pointed out before, you do see her boobies jiggling, and that is the most Michael Bay thing ever.
I think it's the first shot you see a lot more of, like the first explosion, the Megatron attack, but the more explosions are in the second one, the airstrike one. They drop the hell on them.
For the first airstrike is more like a line
Yeah.
of explosions like behind them, but this one's so much more like a wide scale. Like I think it is a wide shot of all the explosions
Yeah.
while they're running.
And then it obviously shifts focus
Definitely.
onto the individual characters of obviously Megan Fox and the Soldier and Lennox. And
Yeah.
obviously these shifts focus then obviously onto Sam. It's like jump between focus rather than like full on focus. Yeah, I agree. That's definitely a worthy recipient of that award this week. Okay, so my question of the day this week is: would you like to have seen obviously the Fallen get more screen time, a bit more building, and like be an actual more threat rather than just like this big bad that just get instantly destroyed? I know Optimus is like his weakness, but I mean they still could have had him like put more of a fight than just like this. Literally just got instant killed by Optimus.
I agree, but I think for what they had there, still pretty good.
So
Yes.
I think they sacrificed more of his building for obviously more character development than anything. And obviously the more focus on Optimus being dead. I think that's what they shifted more focus off onto. It would obviously... I do think out of all the sort of villains we get to see throughout this franchise, though the Fallen is probably built up as the biggest threat, I do think he's the one that just gets his ass kicked the quickest. Obviously Megatron put up a fight in the first one. And obviously the later ones, I'm pretty certain, do put up more of a fight than the Fallen does. Which is a shame, because he's got a great voice actor, Tony Todd, who voices, obviously, Zoom in The Flash. And he's also, ironically, Candyman. He's got a great voice actor. And he was almost Dormammu in Doctor Strange before they went, oh, no, we don't want him to have the same voice as Zoom. Missed opportunity there. Missed an opportunity there. So it is a shame that he didn't get more, like, vocal time, but... they sacrificed it for probably a worthier cause.
I agree, yeah. It was... I think the reason why, like, he's supposed to be, like, this, like, big bad, but he wasn't, is I think it's more of, like, his danger is his, like, knowledge and the fact that he basically is... He used to be in his prime, ironic, but is more of he's now weakened and old, and they do mention how like all this time without that energon, whatever it is, it does weaken you.
It made him a frail old man.
So maybe he's a lot more frailer, and obviously as well, Prime also at that moment he was basically buffed upon
steroids.
Big steroids.
He's basically Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
Just about the
but even in that fight, he still managed to rip off one of Optimus's jet engines.
Yes.
There's still a bit of stake, but it's shown as like Prime is still Optimus is still like the stronger and
top dog.
Yeah.
Or big boy. Ooh, ooh,
ooh.
Okay. Yeah, it covers that. So join us next week as we continue on with Transformers. As we're taking a look at Transformers: Dark Side of the Moon, the last movie of the Shia LaBeouf trilogy. Before
I thought there was a movie called Dark Side of the Moon.
Before he got replaced by Mark Wahlberg.
For reasons.
For reasons, and for plot reasons, sort of. Obviously, two sides of the coin here. There's only so many times the same guy can get attacked by giant robots, and it won't get boring. But it still gets boring even without him there. Yeah. I've been your host, Drinking Thomas Hughes. That's been Hayden. That's been Geeky Bear Alex. I beat you to it. Haha. Go check him out if you want.
Sorry, I'm gonna stop my phone on the floor.
Hayden's Fettler, as Alex pointed out.
Hang on.
That's been Chatcade podcast, and you two, let's transform into Tita Talk and roll out. JK, if James can't get his own show, then Alex can't either. Bye bye.
Hey.
No.